Another day, another pack ranking video. Now, about 2 weeks ago, I released a video on this channel talking about expansion packs in The Sims 4. I talked about what I like about them and what I don't like about them, and it seems like it did really good in terms of views. Therefore, I thought that I'd take this opportunity to bring back the second installment of this series, where we're going to be talking a little bit deeper into game packs and sub packs. So we have a long list of stuff to talk about, so I'm going to try and hurry up for you today. Starting with the game packs. As I mentioned in my expansion pack ranking video, I don't own all of the packs in this game. Therefore, I don't feel like it's fair of me to rank it on my tier list. Instead, I have been creating a separate tier list specifically for packs that I do not own. In terms of the game packs, I actually only own 7 game packs out of the 13. And I think I'm going to start out with the packs that I do not own first. So let's go ahead and talk about them. Now, talking a little bit about the packs that I do not own. As you can see, I have them down in the bottom. I have Journey to Batu, Realm of Magic, Strangerville, vampires, and werewolves. You can kind of sense a theme here, leaning more towards the occult. I don't own any of the occults in my game because I don't really like it in my personal gameplay. Therefore, I don't have any of them. However, there are still certain aspects of each game pack that I really want in my game, and in this ranking video, I'm going to tell you about it. Starting with Journey to Batu, this one straight out is going into Never. I'm not really a Star Wars fan, and therefore I just don't really care about that game pack. I heard that it's really annoying with calling you to travel to Batu every time you start a save file. I don't really want to deal with that. I don't care for it, and I don't think I'll ever buy that pack, even if they're giving it out for free. And honestly, I feel like that's all the explaining I need to do. I'm just not really a Star Wars fan, and the gameplay nor the cast or build and buy items really entice me at all. In the only if it's free category, I actually have both Vampires and Realm of Magic. And those are going to be packs that I don't really want in my game, really. But if it's offered for free, I'm not going to pass up the opportunity. And it might actually be kind of fun to maybe start a spin-off series of some sort to explore those packs further. But in my day-to-day gameplay, I just don't really want to invest any money in it, or want my storylines to lean to the mythical / fictional, like aspect of The Sims 4. Instead, I kind of really like to play maybe a little bit too realistic, but that's just my personal opinion. Now, for my last ranking video, I added the On the Fence category specifically so I can put both werewolves and Strangerville in there. Again, I don't really want to play with the mythical side of The Sims 4. Instead, what I really am on the fence about these packs, specifically from Strangerville, I really like the build and buy assets from that pack, I'm not gonna lie. Like, the windows and doors are some of the best assets that comes in this game, with the fences and gates. It also comes with a really cool punching machine for your athletic sims. It has this really cool jukebox. It has some really funky and weird decor that I really want, and it has the lava lamps that I kind of are on my radar. Plus, the artwork is kind of cool. And not to mention, I actually do want to play in Strangerville. I don't really want to solve the mystery, but I think Strangerville is actually a really cool world, and I kind of want to play with it. Therefore, I'm kind of on the fence when it comes to that pack, which this is where you guys can come in. Every pack that I put in on the fence category, I want you to either talk me into buying it or talk me out of it. Tell me if you have that pack and what you like about it and what you don't, and if you think I should get it or not. Please and thank you. Some fancy. This is kind of my ranking of the game packs that I do not own. Let's move on to the packs that I do actually own. So, talking a little bit about game packs that I actually do own, as you can see, I have them lined up in the bottom. I'm going to be starting from my least favorite over to my top favorite, and I'm going to give you guys a spoiler. None of them actually rank in D or S tier for me personally. For me personally, I actually found this specific list to be hardest to create out of all of them. I couldn't really rank them fairly because some game packs come with really amazing worlds, which is a huge plus for that game pack. Or I actually get a lot of use out of the gameplay, but everything else I do not like. And what I ended up actually doing is rating the world, cast assets, build assets, and gameplay separately. I gave them a score out of 10, and then I added them up and divided it by 4 and made my final ranking to finally finish this list. So this is what I came up with. In my least favorite game pack, it is going to be Outdoor Retreat. And like I said, it's not going to be in D tier, but it's going to be the only one in C tier. And the reason why I don't really like this one, it's because of I don't really like camping very much. Every once in a while, I kind of get excited about taking my Sims to go camping, and then when I finally do, I find it to be extremely boring because there's not a lot to do in Granite Falls. Granted, Granite Falls is actually kind of wonderful. It's beautiful. I love that world. It's a shame that you cannot live in it, and it's kind of impressive that it's one of the earliest worlds that they've built. That gets a plus, but obviously not being able to live in it drags it majorly down for me. Not to mention that I actually find the gameplay to be very boring, and so it gets a C spot for me personally. Moving on to our B tier, I actually have 3 game packs in the B tier. Starting with my 6th least favorite game pack, it is going to be Dine Out. Now, I'm going to be honest, I don't really run into a lot of glitches with Dine Out. I think mainly the issues that I have with the gameplay is when I finally get my food, which is, it's improved. I can definitely tell you that The Sims 4 did put in a lot of work for this pack to function, although it is kind of frustrating that a lot of those packs come out broken in the first place, but I can definitely appreciate that they do put in some effort to try and fix those bugs and issues for you. When this game pack first came out, it was very glitchy and very slow to get your food. In 2025, I don't really run into that bug. What I actually find frustrating about Dine Out is when we finally get our food, my date or whoever I don't control just grabs their food and bolts out of the seat, and I find it really annoying when they just start eating while they're just standing instead of sitting down and eating a meal properly. But I feel like that's the only bug that I run into when it comes to Dine Out. Solid build and buy, really annoying gameplay glitches, so it got a number 6 on my tier list. Moving on to number 5, it is going to be Parenthood. Now, if you watched my last ranking video, when I talked about growing together, I had said that if you really want family gameplay, I would get Parenthood over Growing Together. For me, it's ranked higher than Growing Together, but when you're comparing it to other game packs, it does not hold as strong, specifically because it doesn't have a world attached, and the Create a Sim is horrendous, but I actually do enjoy the build and buy objects. The thing that I really enjoy about Parenthood is I love when my kids come up to their parents and ask for advice. Even though I feel like I get the same prompt over and over, I get excited every time I see that they're coming up to ask for advice. I don't know, I like it. I like to incorporate the situation into their storylines a little bit and kind of expand on it a little bit more and build off of it, so it kind of is fun for storytelling and stuff like that. And I really love when they come home with school projects. I love putting it together and displaying it on like the shelves, or saying that actually I feel like it never fits on any surface except for like kitchen counters or really large surfaces. But nonetheless, I really like displaying them. Okay, so moving on, the last one in B tier, it is going to be Dream Home Decorator. Without question, the build and buy that comes in that game is actually some of the strongest to ever come in The Sims 4. We've got sectional sofas, we have built-in closets, we have a lot of fun, unique stuff that we don't have in the game, except in Dream Home Decorator. To be fair, it's kind of in the middle of the road. It's literally the 4th out of the 7th. And the reason why it is in the middle of the road is because the interior decorator career is so glitchy and boring, and it doesn't work as well as you would hope it does. And therefore, I don't really like to go to work with my sim as an interior decorator. Instead, I like to have the job title of the interior decorator, but I don't actually like to play as one. A solid number 4th spot on my list. Now we're going to be moving on our A tier, and it's going to fit all 3 of my remaining game packs. Starting with the number 3rd spot, it is actually going to be Jungle Adventure. Now, the thing about Jungle Adventure is I think that it comes with a really solid gameplay. I just haven't had the chance to really explore it deeply in my gameplay, pun intended. I guess it is sort of a pun because the whole thing about Jungle Adventure is that you're exploring the temples and stuff like that. It's cool. I've definitely seen other people play Jungle Adventure, and I think it's very solid gameplay. I just haven't really done it in my personal save file. The reason why it's actually ranked very highly is because the world of Selva Dorada is stunning. It's a really unique world. Like there's nothing else in this game that compares to Selva Dorada. They're really good at creating worlds in this game, but not a lot of in-depth gameplay, I fear. I feel like they have their priorities mixed up for sure. So yeah, that's why I feel like I put it in A tier. I haven't really explored the gameplay that much, but I do know that it's really, really fun, and the archaeology table is an interesting skill to have your sim be involved in for sure. Moving on to my second favorite game pack, it's going to be My Wedding Stories. Now listen, we all know how buggy this game pack is. It's another pack that the Sims team has done a lot of effort towards trying to improve your wedding experience. When it first came out though, it actually broke your wedding. You couldn't really have one. They've since added the option to either have a regular wedding, the original one, or you can have it through My Wedding Stories. So it's nice to have the option if you don't want to do the event goals or anything like that. But with that being said, the build and buy, the world of Tortosa, and the cast assets is really what carries this pack so highly. I mean, come on, the world of Tortosa is inspired by Italy, the Mediterranean. Can you name a more stunning world than Tortosa? I'll wait. Now moving on to my highly rated game pack, it is actually going to be Spade. And you're thinking, what? Let me explain myself. I feel like this game pack is the only one that has solid everything. Obviously, there's no world when it comes to Spade, but what I really like about this one is the build and buy. The cast assets is fine, and then the gameplay is actually really, really fun. I love taking my Sims over to the spa and give them a little pampering. Some of my Sims are athletes, and I really like taking them over to a spa and giving them a massage. Plus, if you really want, you can have your sim work as a massage therapist and a pedicurist and stuff like that. I feel like that's an underused career in The Sims 4, and you all should really get into it because that's actually really fun. So yeah, that's probably why it's my favorite game pack, but it's not good enough to be put in S tier. None of them are. So yeah, this is my final ranking of game packs that I do own. Alright, so we're moving on to our stuff packs. And there's 20 of them currently out in The Sims 4. I, however, only own 16 only. I own 16 stuff packs out of the 20, which is a lot. So yeah, we're going to be starting with the stuff packs that I do not own, which is going to be Cool Kitchen, Nifty Knitting, Spooky Stuff, and the Luxury Party. Starting with Luxury Party, it's actually going in the only if free category. Y'all know Luxury Party stuff pack. It's very abysmal and ugly and not very useful. But if it's free, I guess I'll snag it, but I'm not really looking forward or really dying to get it at all. The other 3, I'm actually going to place in on the fence. Obviously, all of these stuff packs have been out for so long, and a lot of them have been on sale. So if I really wanted to buy one, I would have bought it already, clearly, because I have 16 out of 20. I guess I'll talk about a little bit why I do want them or I don't want them. Starting with Spooky Stuff, I actually kind of want the pumpkin carving station. I'm not gonna lie. This one actually might be the highest one in the on the fence because I know there's not a lot of stuff that comes with it. The build and buy is very ugly and you're not gonna use it. at all, but I actually kind of want to be able to carve a pumpkin, and I would like to have some costumes added in my Sims 4. I really don't play with Halloween in my save file, and I really want to. I don't know why I haven't yet. I just haven't added that event in my calendar, and I feel like I should really get on that. So yeah, if you can please talk me into buying it or not, that would be very, very helpful. When it comes to Cool Kitchen, I actually really like the kitchen clutter that comes with, plus the fridge and stove and the range hood. I feel like it's one of the better ones in The Sims 4, but I don't really care for ice cream making. The cast assets might as well never existed, and the kitchen set is not very pretty. So yeah, that's the only reason why I'm on the fence, is I feel like that the kitchen clutter is kind of cool to have, and the fridge, stove, and range hood. But I don't know. Nifty Knitting, it actually added the Plopsy feature, which I feel like it could be kind of cool to be able to sell stuff online. It's the Sims version of Etsy, where you can sell crafted items for a markup, and I feel like that could be very handy, but I don't really care for knitting, and the stuff in that stuff pack is not very, it hasn't caught my eye, let's just say that. So that's the reason why I'm on the fence. So please let me know what you think of these 3 packs, if I should get them or not. Alright, so those are the stuff packs that I actually do own. I'm going to try and fly through them because there's a lot of them. Starting with my D tier, the only one that's in that one, it's actually going to be my first pet stuff. Do I really have to explain myself? I really don't think so. The build and buy assets is a ripoff out of the Cats and Dog expansion pack. Obviously, that was a huge controversy when it first came out. I will say I do like some of the pet stuff, but other than that, I feel like that this pack should have never existed in the first place. The only reason why I do have it is because it was for free. I just couldn't pass it up. But other than that, I don't think this stuff pack is worth it at all. So yeah, it's the only one in D tier. Moving on to our C tier, I have a total of 3 stuff packs, starting with a movie hangout. And the reason why this one ranks very low on my list is because I feel like the build and buy in that one is very over stylized. It's really colorful. It leans a little more maximalist, which is not a style I hate, but I feel like it was really not very well done. It was meant to be boho, but if you're looking for that aesthetics, I would get Laundry Day stuff instead. This one, I feel like it failed in achieving what it set out to do aesthetically. And I feel like that the whole feature about watching movies, you could watch movies in the Sims 4 base game, so you don't really need it. It adds special interactions when you actually sit down and watch a movie, where you can talk about the movie or talk about the actors, stuff like that. You can just pretend to be having that conversation. It really doesn't add that depth in your gameplay. It's really not that deep. I will say it does come with popcorn, which is kind of annoying that you have to buy this one to have that in your game, but I feel like that's the only good thing about it. Moving on to my 14th pick, it is going to be Perfect Patio. Obviously, we got that free hot tub in the 20th anniversary for The Sims 4, making this pack literally useless. I will say some of the outdoor patio stuff I actually do use a lot, but I wish I could rank this any higher. I feel like I do use a lot of the stuff that comes in that one. The cast assets, however, is a chop, and the stuff in it is really nice, like that marbled bar and countertop and the grill. But when you compare it to the other stuff packs that we have, this one ranks very low, especially because the main feature of Perfect Patio is no longer appealing, because we have a free hot tub in the base game, and if you have for rent, you have a hot tub. Granted, it has the nicest hot tubs in this game, but again, if you really wanted one, you can get one from for rent, or you have one in the base game. My number 13th pick, it is going to be Backyard Stuff. And oh my god, I actually remember wanting this pack so badly in like 2017 or whatever, because it was the first pack that introduced skinny jeans in this game. That's so embarrassing to admit, but I really wanted this pack specifically for the female jeans. Do you know you know the one? It was the best one that we've ever had in this game. It was a shame that it came in Perfect Patio. I will say though, it does come with the slip and slide, which is very fun. You have the bird feeder and you have the wind chimes and stuff like that I actually really find very charming and really cute to put in your builds. And therefore I ranked it higher than Perfect Patio and Movie Hangout. Obviously, those are the only things that I like about it, so it only gets a C spot for me at number 13. Moving on to our B tier, I have a total of 4 packs. Starting with number 12, I have Bowling Stuff Pack. Now, the idea of bowling in The Sims 4 is actually really fun. Like, I want to take my teen Sims for a bowling game, if only it didn't take literally 7 years to finish a game. I mean, come on, like, the idea of it is so fun. The mid-century aesthetics of that pack is really solid with the cast assets and the build and buy. That's the only reason why it got a B spot for me, is I actually like that stuff, but the main feature of it is annoying and really not that usable. Plus, those bowling lanes are massive and they're very hard to fit anywhere in your builds. I feel like a number 12th spot is a perfect placement for that stuff pack. At number 11, I actually have Laundry Day Stuff. And again, the reason why it's ranked in B tier is because the main feature of it is so frustrating. I don't know why people wanted to add laundry so badly in The Sims 4, and when they finally did, I feel like not a lot of people actually put laundry machines in their builds because it's so glitchy and annoying to actually do laundry in The Sims 4. Duh, y'all should have seen that coming. I will say, piggybacking on when I touched on the Movie Hangout stuff, if you really want the boho aesthetic, Laundry Day got you covered. The build and buy is really nice, and the cast asset, I use that stuff all the time, and I feel like a nice little B tier in the middle, really solid. But again, the main feature of it, not very useful or good, so there you go. Moving on to my 10th pick, it is going to be Vintage Glamour. And I'm going to be honest, old Hollywood aesthetic is just some of my favorite. It's like my favorite era of all time, like that Tinseltown look and all the celebrities that come from that era. I feel like it's such a interesting time. So that's what I'll give props to that pack for, is the aesthetics. I will say the build and buy, the cast assets, however, is really nice. You have to have that pack in order to do the vanity table stuff, like applying makeup. But let's be honest, how many times have you actually used that feature? I definitely don't. I like the fantasy of it, like having vanities in your like walk-in closets or your bedrooms for your rich and fancy Sims to apply their makeup and stuff, but the presets on it, it's ugly and no one actually uses it. Plus, some of my households actually do have a butler, well, one to be specific. I do find them to be helpful, like to help around the house when you want a meal or for them to clean and you don't have to worry about keeping the house tidy. The only frustrating thing about butlers is when you go to sleep, you cannot triple speed because the butler needs to be told to go to bed, apparently. I don't know why you cannot take care of your own self. So that's the only downside about Vintage Glamour for me. So yeah, I feel like that's the reason why I do like Vintage Glamour. But the standout for me is definitely the cast assets, the butler, and then some of the build and buy stuff. So yeah. There we go. Moving on, the last pick in B tier, it is going to be Toddler Stuff. Now, I really wish I could rank this pack any higher because the toddler stuff in this game is very, very lacking. Even with all the packs that we have introduced in The Sims 4, toddlers and infants tend to be a little bit neglected. We might get an outfit here and there from an expansion pack, but not enough to flesh out that age group at all. And that's the reason why I wish this one was a lot better than it is, because it's the only pack that we have that caters for toddlers specifically, which it ultimately fails at in the end. Like that ugly ass ball pit that I've introduced and the massive giant jungle gym. Come on, have you really ever used that thing? Be honest. I have personally never used it. The only reason why it's ranked in B tier is some of the cast assets is actually cute, and the build and buy, it's okay. It's okay, but not very impressive in the slightest, I don't think. We're going to be moving on to our A tier. I have a total of 4 stuff packs in A tier. Starting with my 8th pick, it is going to be Romantic Garden Stuff Pack. This one actually gets a lot of hate. I don't know why. I use that stuff to death. The landscaping is so pretty. Not to mention those massive statues are stunning. I literally put them in my game all the time. I find them to be very, 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 very beautiful. Granted, the cast assets not very strong. The build and buy in Romantic Garden stuff is really, really good, and y'all should get on board. I love the little fountain that it comes with, plus we have the wishing well. Really not utilized in my gameplay at all, but the build and buy pulls this pack so much higher for me personally. I'm so sorry that I haven't been doing this in full screen. You have to look at that boring ass background instead of my beautiful face, so I do apologize for that. I'm kidding, obviously. But I did like how I did it last time, so I'm gonna go back to full screen if y'all don't mind. So, moving on to my 7th pick, it is actually going to be Tiny Living. I mean, come on. Without a doubt, the build and buy is so nice to use. I put that stuff in my game all the time. And it has really solid cast assets, which is very refreshing when a pack has nice build and buy and cast assets and really solid gameplay. Like, come on. If y'all recall my expansion pack ranking, I explained that I tend to play with rich and famous Sims, and therefore tiny house are really underutilized for me. However, the gameplay is really useful for your average simmer. It multiplies your skills by double, it reduces your bills. There's a lot of benefits of living in a tiny house. I just don't tend to do it all that often in my personal save files, so that's why it ranks at a 7th spot in A tier for me and not higher, but it's still pretty high. Like, I like that pack. I get use out of it in different aspects out of its intended purpose, but I still use it, so there you go. Tiny Living at 7 in A tier. Now we're going to talk about my 6th pick. It's going to be kids room stuff. I actually, surprisingly, this one was a really high hit for me. When I finally bought it on sale, I was actually shocked at how much I liked it. The Void Critters is so much fun to play with. I haven't had a sim completely finish the collection, but I'm working on it currently, and I really love having that Void Critter machine. Obviously, Void Critters is the Pokemon equivalent. They keep referring to Void Critters in different types of updates and different expansion packs or packs in general, and I really like that tie-in, which makes the kids room stuff lore to be really in-depth and detailed and a lot better than a lot of the stuff packs, and that's exactly what I enjoy about it. I really like the Void Critter aspect of it. I love how much decor we get from like the comfy gamer stuff. We recently had that onesie update in the base game with the Void Critter prints on it. It's a really fun, cool tie-in for sure. And I really like having my Sims be into Void Critters. There's a lot to do when it comes to Void Critters in The Sims 4. Plus, the build and buy, it comes with a lot of nice stuff for your kids' room, decorations. It has a nice bed, it has a nice closet, it has a nice bookshelf. Like, I can picture all of the stuff that comes with kids' room stuff because I use that stuff all the time, and I think it's really, really pretty. So, a solid, nice 6th spot in A tier for me. There we go. Kids Room, a really nice hit for sure. Now moving on to my 5th pick, it's going to be Home Chef Hustle. I'm gonna be honest, the only reason why I really love this expansion pack because it comes with the only kitchen counter set. It has a lot of nice kitchen clutter, a lot of nice appliances, the pizza oven, the waffle maker, the batter mixer thing, I don't know what it's called. Obviously, a really nice kitchen counter, fridge, stove, range hood. The best one that has ever come in The Sims 4. So it gets a 5th spot for me, but I cannot rank it any higher because I really love the kitchen set. You know what I mean? Still solid, still use it all the time. I don't utilize the market table all that often. I think it's a very nice feature to have. It's very good for Tiny Town Challenge. It's really good for if you're trying to like be a baker or sell your food at a stall. So the gameplay actually is really good, but definitely underutilized. However, a number 5, that's a win, right? I'm definitely trying to rush here if you can tell, but Home Chef Hustle, y'all know that this is a really solid pack, 100%. Now, moving on to our S tier, we actually have a total of 4 packs, as you can see from the list below. At number 4, I have Fitness Stuff Pack, and y'all lovely people, I was about to cuss you out, just so you know, but y'all lovely humans love to hate on that pack so much, and I don't understand why. From my expansion pack ranking, I said that Snowy Escape is one of my favorite expansion packs because it added rock climbing. Fitness Stuff Pack expands on it a lot more because we have that rock climbing wall that I love. I love using that gym equipment. I love having the ability to rock climb. I love having more gym equipments to add in my gyms, and the skill is really fun. Y'all are sleeping on the rock climbing. Not to mention that the build and buy is really, really, really good, and I like the cast assets that comes in that one too. So gets a number 4 spot, hands down. I love that one. Y'all hate on it for no reason whatsoever. Y'all love to be haters. I don't care. I'm putting in an S tier. I think it's a fabulous little stuff pack, and I don't want to hear anything in the comments. Thank you. Moving on to my top 3. Obviously, it doesn't matter because my 4th pick was also in the S tier. But I feel like the top 3 is very impressive for sure. It's going to be Crystal Creations for me personally. That one was a sleeper hit for sure. Like, I was not expecting to love crafting jewelry all that often. However, the benefit of charging crystals and crafting gems and all that jazz is actually surprisingly was a lot of fun, really useful for your personal gameplay. When I did it for my Tiny Town series, one of my favorite skill sets and like some of the most fun I've ever had crafting in The Sims 4, I found a lot of this jewelry and stuff to be very breathtakingly beautiful. And finally, we have a purpose for those crystals that we have in The Sims 4. You know what I mean? And the fact that you can charge them at that crystal grid thing, impressive. Really, really, really solid pack. And not to mention the build and buy, beautiful. The cast assets, really solid. So, hands down, solid 3rd spot for me personally. I am curious to hear what you think of that opinion. I feel like Crystal Creations wasn't that popular. I feel like people responded well, but I don't think a lot of people would rank it as highly as I did. Personally, I feel like it's really fleshed out and it's really fun to play with. So no complaints over here. Now moving on to the most controversial opinion of this video, I feel like it is going to be Moschino Stuff Pack at number 2. I can hear the boos already. I don't give a fuck. Fuck y'all. I'm sorry. I'll tone it down. But I really love this one. I know it has like a branded name in the title, but I don't even care about the designer. I'm not very familiar with the Moschino stuff. Obviously, I know about the stuff pack, but I don't know about the actual designer. I don't care about it. The reason why I really love this one is actually because of the cast assets and the build and buy, some of my favorite stuff, not to mention the fashion photography skill. So lovely, so nice, so much fun to play with. It took photography and it expanded on it so much more. We have a lot more freedom when it comes to picture taking because of it. and you can customize it a lot. You can take pictures of 3 different Sims at once. It's very fun to play with, even if you're not doing fashion photography, just to use the tripod. It just changed photography for me. I cannot go back. I love it. Like, look at this picture of my Sim caramel that I took. Breathtaking. I love that. It's so beautiful. And I love that we can do that in The Sims 4 because of the Moschino stuff pack. So, without a doubt, it gets a second spot for me. I'm very passionate about this one. I don't care. I feel like everything that comes in that stuff pack, whether it is the hair, the clothes, the windows, the couches, the decorations, the magazines, a lot of it is so pretty and I use it all the time. Now, moving on, my favorite stuff pack of all time, it is going to be Paranormal Stuff Pack. And some of you might be confused because when I rank the game packs, the only ones that I don't own are the occults. So you might be like a little bit confused as to why I would rank that at a number 1 spot. I will say there is a reason why ghosts are a base game feature and not a pack. I personally believe in ghosts and demons and angels, but I feel like that's too dark for The Sims 4. So having paranormal stuff really expands on the ghost hunting and the ghost feature in general in The Sims 4. I love having a paranormal investigator as a job title. I love that you can go into haunted houses and, you know, expel the ghosts or whatever. I feel like that's but I think it's really, really fun. Not to mention the build and buy is so nice. I love that couch set. It's really quirky and very stylized, but I'm kind of really into it in a weird way. I love it. I love that you can have the little, the crystal ball. Plus, now that I have Life and Death installed in my game, shout out to my sis who actually bought it for me. How nice, right? Because I was talking about how I was dying to get it and she offered to buy it for me. So now I have it. Those 2 packs are going to connect very well for me personally, and I cannot wait to delve deeper into those packs for sure. I hope you can feel my passion about my top 4 picks actually. Everything in S tier, from the fitness stuff, Crystal Creations, Moschino stuff pack, and Paranormal. I love those packs. They're phenomenal for me. Everything about them is so much fun, from the cast assets, build by gameplay, everything 10 out of 10. I recommend those stuff packs for sure. Love them. So there you have it. Those are my final rankings of the game packs. Hit pause if you want to take a deeper look. Now moving on to the stuff packs. Those are my final rankings right here. Again, hit pause if you want to take a deeper look. This is my updated list of expansion packs, game packs, and stuff packs, and also the ones that I do not own. And there it is. My final thoughts. I hope you guys enjoyed this video. If you did, go ahead and hit the thumbs up button. If you want to see more, hit the subscribe. If you have any opinions, questions, feel free to drop them down in the comment section down below. Obviously, please stay positive and very gentle in your comments below. If you hate any of my opinions, just know that this is what I personally love to do in The Sims 4. It might be different than what you like to do, and that's the beauty of The Sims 4. Am I right? Am I right? So yeah, this is everything I have for you today. I will see you in the next one. Bye 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 bye.